up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Drinks with Drea. I'm your host, Miss Drea, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. As you guys know, with every Drinks with Drea, we always kick it off with what we're drinking today. So I am sipping on Jack Honey. So that's Jack Daniel's, the flavor honey, with some lemonade. It did have ice, but it has watered down since then. But that's what we're sipping on today. Go ahead and pour up a drink and let's get going. Okay, so salud. It's been so much going on, right? Like this last week has had a lot of stuff going on, and we're going to get into some of those things. But before we do, I want to address my natural, right? And the reason I want to address it is not because it's a thing that needs to be discussed in every space that we as Black women enter, right? Like we can wear our hair however the hell we want to. We can wear afros, we can wear it blonde, we can wear it straight, we can wear it in braids, kinks, whatever the hell we want to do. And that's any woman. Wear your hair, or any person, wear your hair how the hell you want to, right? Men wearing weaves now, women been wearing weaves, people wearing, whatever they want, right? But as a Black woman, our hair has always carried so much trauma, so much history, so much story. And the number one thing that I'm realizing, even in this current season, is that we spent most of our identity, most of our experience trying to figure out how to make our hair more palatable, trying to figure out how to make our hair more appeasing to others, making it more professional. So we've done a lot of damage to our hair, everything from hot combs to perms to coloring to anything that we felt made us more presentable. So I'm just in love with this new era where a beautiful woman like Tabitha Brown, whose book I have in my background, can be on the front cover of a book rocking her natural hair, where I can feel comfortable as a woman rocking my little twisties with the shrinkage, you know what I mean? Because this is who we are, and we can do it all. We can put the wig on next week, we can put the box braids, we can wear our natural hair, and it's all beautiful. I had made a kind of a joke earlier today where I talked about Madam C.J. Walker. Like, how dope would it have been if she would have created a product that helped Black women to nurture their own hair versus straightening it out. Now, I'm not judging her. I get why that was necessary during that time, because in order for us to be seen as human and presentable and more kempt, we had to wear our hair straight. But I'm just so thankful and grateful for this time that we're in today, where women of color and people whose hair isn't straight can actually just embrace the hair that God gave them without feeling judged or feeling like they're less than or feeling like they have to conform in order to make others more comfortable. It is a weird thing to me that there's actually an act called the Crown Act, where people are literally pushing legislation, enforcing people to not judge people or to discriminate against people because of their hair. I don't even understand how that's even a thing. Just like I don't understand why lynching isn't, considered a hate crime all across the US. It's a weird space, but hey, we're still progressing, we're still fighting, and we're still trying to move in the right direction. So I've said all I can say about that. That wasn't really a topic. I just wanted to shout it out because, it is a thing. It is a confidence thing that we have to reach, where we say, you know what? Who cares if my hair is thick? Who cares, what grade it is? Who cares how long it is? Who cares how thick or thin it is? This is how God made me, and I'm going to embrace it. Okay? I'm going to do another salute for that. Moving along. Okay. Dave Chappelle, the closer. Now, if you've been just existing in this last week, you already know that Dave Chappelle has made headlines all week. His special, The Closer, released over the weekend, and it has been just one controversy after the other. Now, there has been a few groups, GLAAD, the National Black Coalition of Justice. I don't know all of the whatever it is, but I've never heard of this coalition. When I looked it up, it's a guy named David Johns. He has about 1,000 followers on Instagram. When I looked it up, the only thing that came up was this Dave Chappelle situation, so I'm not familiar with this coalition. But it was a few asking that Netflix take this special off of its platform. A lot of people didn't watch the special. A lot of people who are upset did not watch the special. So of course there's like this urging, this push, like, well, at least listen to the perspective before you just write it off as ignorant or write it off as damaging, because everything in this season and everything related to anything related to the LGBTQIA plus community is all centered around, if we're not willing to accept people how they are, if we're not willing to give the respect that is asked of and that's warranted, then we're contributing to the deaths of people in this community. That's the narrative. If we're not kind to people, if we're not accepting, if we're not gravitating towards new terms and new ideologies, then we are contributing to the deaths of people that are part of this community. Now, let me say this, and I think it was one of the things that one of the points that Dave Chappelle is trying to make. So he kind of put, the Black experience as being minorities and being an oppressed and marginalized group up against, not up against, but just in comparison to the LGBTQI community, right? And really speaking on how quickly things have progressed in as part of the LGBTQIA plus community, but not a lot is progressing for the Black community. So it's like, he even made the comparison about the baby. The baby actually murdered a young man, and it wasn't, it was self-defense. If you look up the story, he was with his daughter in a Walmart. He was, minding his business. Someone recognized him as someone who had money, and two men approached him in an aggressive manner, and he defended himself, right? So there's nothing, I hate that a young man lost his life, but there's, what are you going to do when someone's trying to, press you, in an aggressive manner while you're with your family? If you have the ability to protect yourself, most people would. But he was fine, that happened. He was released. He went on to have a good career. But the moment he made a statement that the baby made, and if you look back at old episodes, I'm sure I broke down what was said. All of a sudden you want to cancel him. All of a sudden you want to take opportunities from him. He can't perform at festivals. Like, literally, you're taking away this man's way of providing for his family. But it's okay to kill a Black man. It's not okay to make a comment that makes people feel uncomfortable. That was his whole point. Even when Dave Chappelle talks about why he stepped away from his own show, he made crazy jokes about the Black community. He touched on R. Kelly peeing on teenagers. He touched on slavery. He touched on different stereotypes of Black people, and all of that was a-okay. But the moment he wanted to make a gay joke, Dave, that's not really, and he felt like, wait a minute. It's okay for me to put my people down or say all these jokes that are cringy for Black folks. But the moment I say anything for someone in the LGBTQIA community, I'm going too far. Because guess what? Black people in general, regardless of their gender, regardless of how they identify, are being killed at higher rates than everybody. Black women are, 1 in 3 Black women are abused. Domestic violence, 1 in 3. Black men are killed at higher rates. Black men are jailed at higher rates. A lot of that rhetoric, if we're using the same logic, right? The same rhetoric that's used, or even just the imagery, right? TV shows that paint Black people as robbers and killers and gangs and drug dealers, and all of that contributes to, if we're using the same logic, the reality that Black people face. And all of that's been okay this entire time. But now it's like, no, we want to cancel you. We want to stop you from being able to provide for your family. We don't want to give you freedom of speech. We want to make sure that you are in compliance with the PC culture that we're creating around this one community. Now, I am not against any group, period. I don't care race. I don't care gender. I don't care beliefs, all of that. Only thing that I expect in the world is just to live in this world freely without anybody attacking me for things that are just who I am. Don't attack me for being a woman. Don't attack me for being Black. Don't attack me for being tall. Don't attack me for being whatever. Just let me exist peacefully in this space. That's what I think all of us should expect and want from one another. You don't have to believe what I believe. You don't have to agree with the things that I do. Just respect me enough to leave me the hell alone, right? Like, that's all I want from the world. I don't need people to cater to me because of all of the traumas and everything that has happened to people that look like me. Just respect me enough today that I don't feel threatened or in danger when I walk out my house, right? Nonetheless, Dave Chappelle is really just, in my opinion, making the point that, you know, and he spoke about the race aspect of it. There is a level of white supremacy and entitlement that's tied to white supremacy that is showing up in the trans community and the LGBTQ community. Because he made a joke that said, you know, now the white man is so clever, now he got me calling him ma'am, you know. And again, these are jokes. Dave Chappelle, if you follow him and you find him to be entertaining, you already know his style of comedy, right? And he's basically making that point, like, now as a person, I can joke about everybody else's experience, and everybody's being murdered, especially in the Black community, at a high rate. I can say all these horrible things. Black women are raped at a higher rate. Black women catch diseases at a higher rate. Black men are jailed at a higher rate. Every negative statistic, or every statistic about murder, crime, anything, Black people most of the time are leading in those statistics, right? And it's no ceiling. He can say whatever he wants about the Black community. Nobody raises the uproar. Nobody's trying to remove him from platforms. Nobody's trying to cancel him. He's good to keep kicking down on the Black community, and everybody's open to do it. Bill O'Reilly, Tuckerson, whatever his name is, those people on Fox, they always saying negative, horrible things about Black people, but they still have a platform. So this man is really trying to position things in a way that says, listen, I get where you're coming from, and we're all marginalized, but why is it that we cannot agree to disagree? Why is it that if I am not handling your community with white gloves and a fine-tooth comb, then I'm a horrible person, I'm a transphobic, I'm a homophobic, and I deserve to not be able to feed my family based on that? One thing that has been noted as a quote from Dave Chappelle, and I'm going to read it to you guys. It says, and I don't know if he said it or not, this is what's circulating around social media. It says, our culture has accepted two huge lies. The first is that if you disagree with someone's lifestyle, you must fear or hate them. The second is that to love someone means you agree with everything they believe, say, or do. Both are nonsense. You don't have to compromise convictions to be compassionate. I don't know how true it is that he said this, but I agree with that sentiment. We exist in a world where people have different beliefs, different religions, different, ways of life. And I don't have to subscribe to your way of life. I don't have to subscribe to your way of thinking. But I do have some level, if I want to be respected, of respect, where if you want to be called by a different name or a certain pronoun, then I would do my best to respect you in that way, right? But it's going beyond that, because now you want me to believe something different. One of the things that was part of his show was J.K. Rowling saying that gender is a fact. Now, honestly, before all of this happened, I never thought about the word sex and gender and chromosomes and biology as much as I'm thinking about them now, because I'm trying to understand it, right? We're all trying to understand what is going on. Why is there such an uproar about it, especially people that's not a part of the community? I'm just trying to understand it. Like, where's the outrage, right? And you can't tell another person how to feel. So as an outsider of the community, I'm just looking at like, okay, he's joking, but I know he's made lots of jokes about Black women. So I don't take him personal because I know who I am. If you know who you are, a joke is a joke. I can't tell people how to receive jokes. I grew up on Def Comedy Jam. I grew up on the one that was on BET. I grew up on harsh jokes, so I don't get easily offended by them, right? Even when we see all these caricatures of Black women portrayed by Wanda from Jamie Foxx or Shanae, I don't relate to those characters, but I can laugh at them. I can understand the dangers of putting this imagery out into the world, because now you're validating for people who think less of Black women. See, this is how they are. So I understand that aspect of it, but I don't get so involved in it where I'm going to personally be offended by it. I'm going to take it for what it is, which is an attempt at humor. Either it's funny or it's not. But this new movement that we're in is it not enough to respect each other as human beings? Does it always have to be, no, you need to relearn your language. You need to relearn how you speak to people. You need to relearn, because there are so many different communities. And it's unrealistic to think that every person on this in this world is going to learn and understand all the proper and improper ways to address people in specific communities. That's just an unrealistic act, right? Like, I can't expect every white person to understand every single thing that's going to offend me as a Black person. I cannot expect every man to understand every single thing that's going to offend me as a Black woman, right? That's why we give each other grace and we give each other mercy. Nonetheless, I'm kind of all over the place, but whatever, I'm gonna bring it back to a point. Again, not thinking so much about the words gender and sex. Sex, refers to when you're born, you either have the chromosomes of the female sex or the male sex. Then when it talks about gender, gender is more of a social construct. So here is what it means to be a man. Here is what it means to be a woman. And so my understanding of this, and I could be 100% wrong, is that people who identify as trans don't see themselves in the social construct of what they were born as. So they were born a female, and they look at all of what it means in the social construct of what it means to be a woman. They don't relate to it. They look at the list that says man. Oh, I relate more to this. Okay, well, I'm transgender. I may have been born into this one sex, but I more relate to this gender. So that's who I feel most connected to. Me personally, right? I'm a woman. I'm considered cisgendered with the new language that's been created around sexuality and gender identity, etc. I don't wake up in the morning, and maybe this is just a privilege of being able to identify with the gender I was, or the sex I was the sex that I was assigned to at birth. Maybe this is just a privilege of that. But I don't wake up thinking I am woman, hear me roar. I don't wake up thinking that I have to conduct myself in a certain way in order to be presented as and seen as a woman. In fact, the more I learn about this stuff, I'm like, well, shit, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not what I thought I was, because I see parts of me, I'm not defined by a social construct. Me being a woman, I don't fit all of what it means to be a woman according to a social construct. I fit who I have become and evolved as Andrea. Parts of that can be more feminine, parts of that can be considered masculine, parts of that can be considered who the hell knows, but it's not, I don't feel that connection, or I can't understand that thing of I feel like a woman or I feel like a man, because what really is that, right? We are all, as humans, trying to conform into what was colonization, right? Okay, this is what it means to be a man. This is what it means to be a woman. A lot of us fail to meet that criteria, right? Like, I'm not the most nurturing. I'm definitely not a stay-at-home type of person, or a home person, or whatever those things are that's supposed to be associated to a man being a provider. There are a lot of women that saying, no, I'm gonna provide for myself. Does that mean that they're now associating to a different gender? I just feel like it's getting to be a lot, right? And I'm fine with people wanting to be better defined and wanting to feel validated in their human experience. But at the same time, we have to give each other grace and understanding and mercy of like, listen, we're all learning. We're all learning. We don't know. And as more things are introduced and more labels are introduced, it gets even more confusing. And I think what Dave was attempting to do was just to point out, like, listen, there are a lot of marginalized groups. There are a lot of people dying because they're part of those marginalized groups, but none of them are being handled with the same amount of love and care as this particular community. Can we all get that love? This is what I think he's conveying. That's at least what I took away from it. But it's not being received that way by members of that community. Not all, because there are some that are in support of what he said. In fact, if you go on any blog that's talking about it, people are in the comments like, no, Dave Chappelle is not being canceled. I understood where he comes from, because he's speaking from a space of saying, listen, I don't know. This is new, but it's confusing to me because I don't understand, where is this level of cancellation and support and vehemently standing up for, where's that for other marginalized groups? Because I don't see it anywhere else. And he's saying part of the reason why the LGBTQI community is getting that push is because there are people from the white community that are part of it, and their way they approach things is differently. Amanda Seals said something today, and I'm about to get off of this topic because I know I'm all over the place. But she talked about it, and of course she's standing with people who are against Dave Chappelle. At least that's what I gather from what she's been sharing about the topic. And she says part of the reason Black people are not getting the progress in our community is because we don't understand that power in numbers thing, right? Everybody wants something different. But here's the thing: as Black people as a whole, we have not experienced privilege and entitlement and any of those things. Like, we don't even know what to ask for. We know that we're marginalized. We know that people are against us. We know that we're not living in a world that's fair or that treats us equal, but we don't even know what it looks like to be able to say, here are the things that we need. For people, they need money. For some people in our community, they want money. For some people, they want education. For some people, they want land. Everybody wants something different because we're all trying to assess by looking at other communities what they have to determine what we have, what we need. The LGBTQ community is comprised of all races. So you don't really hear as much from the people of color in that group. You're hearing more from others because they understand, wait a minute, I'm being oppressed, because they know what it's like to have privilege. They know what it's like when they can go into a space and demand to be respected. We've never had that. So how can we have power in numbers and come to the forefront or go to a governor, go to a president, go to someone who can make a change and ask for something when we don't even know what anything else feels like other than being oppressed, other than being unfairly judged, other than being, discriminated against? That's our experience. We don't even know what to ask for at the table. So yes, there's power in numbers, but you got to know what you come into the table about. Ice Cube attempted to make a contract with Black America, and everybody like, that ain't my contract. We can't agree on nothing because we don't know what to ask for. So part of the reason why one marginalized group is progressing faster is because they have people who can come into that group and recognize and realize, wait, this is not the treatment that I'm used to. I'm not about to accept being treated less than. Here's what y'all gonna do. And that's part of the reason why things are progressing. So then you lead the people of color standing back like, well, wait a minute, we still can't get lynching to be considered a hate crime all over America. We still got a wealth gap. We still stand the first Black, and we've been here forever. What about us? And that's not pitting us against another marginalized group. It's making us realize something's not right. Because y'all making us seem like it's going to take a long time for progress, but I'm seeing progress moving at a fast pace in another group. Something ain't right here. But that's not my enemy. The enemy is understanding what are the things that we need and how can we move forward, and why can't we treat, if we're going to go down this path where we're going to eliminate people from society because they don't agree or because they don't speak the right words that are appeasing to everyone, then why does Carlson Tucker have a platform? Why does Bill O'Reilly have a platform? Why should we be subjected to people who speak very negatively on our community and not have a say in whether they have a platform or not? That's the point. But I also understand on the other end, because it's like you're pitting two groups against each other. So I get that as well. But I think that, I'm not mad at Dave Chappelle. I'm not going to encourage anybody who don't want to watch it to watch it. My hope for the world is that we can all just get to a space where we can just respect each other, love each other, hear each other. I don't need people to validate my existence for me to feel better about my existence. You don't have to. Just respect me. Just respect me. Respect me enough that my name is Andrea, call me Andrea. If I have some acronyms associated to my name, then if I'm Dr. Andrea, call me Dr. Andrea. Just give me some respect, okay? Let's interact with each other respectfully. I don't go home to you. I don't sleep with you. I don't live with you. You don't have to understand my experience of living and operating in this world as a Black woman. I don't need to experience your existence. We just need to respect each other enough in shared spaces where we can all get home safely and have a good life, okay? I was all over the place, child. It's really difficult to speak on because you really don't get anywhere one, there's not enough conversations happening. But even when there are conversations happening, I think a lot of walls are put up. So it's hard to really come to the table without people saying, oh, you're ignorant or you're biased or you're like, it's so many names being thrown out, people labeling people things because they don't understand things. It took us 20 something, 30, how many years we in school to learn what we do know. Now you want me to relearn it in 1 year? Let's give each other some grace. Give Dave Chappelle some grace. I am pro freedom of speech. There's lots of content out there that is derogatory and disrespectful towards Black people. And it still exists. It's on Netflix, it's on BET, it's on MTV, it's on VH1. There's a lot of things that are put out into the world that as a Black person, I can be personally offended by, but I feel like they need a space to exist just like the positive things need a space to exist. And I don't believe in canceling people. I don't believe in taking away people's freedom of speech. I don't believe in taking away someone's livelihood because you don't agree with them. Because guess what? There's an audience for what he's putting out into the world, and that's okay. That is okay. We just got to push towards loving and respecting each other in this space. As long as if someone does commit a crime against somebody, they go to jail, because we don't even get that when the cops kill us, but we're going to keep it moving, child. I hope I didn't offend anybody in my thoughts process. I know I was all over the place because hell, we still learning. Moving along. Issa Rae, this is gonna be real quick. She just made had a revelation about something she was told very early in her career, which was, if you do not create white characters, white people are not going to care about your show. So that was a conscious decision of hers to make sure she incorporated white people into, you know, her web series, and then also once she was able to turn it into a TV show for HBO. What I appreciate about the show that she has is that the white characters that was part of the show were not placed in a way that most Black people don't experience non-Black people. I don't know if that made sense. So like me personally, I don't have like white people in my inner circle. And it's not, you know, that I'm saying white people are not allowed in my inner circle. I just don't. Like, I haven't been in spaces to build relationships with people other than the people that are in my life, right? And I just don't you know, gravitate towards everybody, and everybody don't gravitate towards me, and that's okay. But the white people that was in Insecure was in a work capacity, right? And their relationship was centered around it. And as a Black person, that's my experience. My experience with people of other cultures is by way of work. And even just how being in certain spaces, you know, that clash of culture, that clash of thinking, that clash of mindset shows up, and it impacts our experience. So I appreciate, even with her taking heed to that advice, she did it in a way that was realistic for a lot of Black people in the world. Now, I know there are a lot of Black people who do have a diverse group of friends, and that is a beautiful thing. I hope to one day be able to say that I have a diverse group of friends. But as it is today, my personal experience with people of other cultures is solely through my work experience. And it shows up in similar ways, where you're the only Black person at that table and everybody's looking to you for things that are not necessarily about strategy and about making money, but they're looking to you about how can we make people feel comfortable at work. Hey, Andrea, what are your thoughts on diversity? Oh, Black History Month's coming up. You get the spotlight on you for those topics, but when it comes to strategy and planning, you throw an idea out there and everybody acts like they don't understand what you said, and 10 minutes later, someone down the table says the same thing, and all of a sudden, oh, good answer, I love that idea. You're like, you feel crazy sometimes in work environments, like, didn't I just suggest, did I say it wrong? The language sounded the same. Why are they not listening to me, but they're listening to the person at the end of the table? But that's how she presented the relationships with people of different cultures in her show. She eventually got to a space where she felt like that was no longer needed, right? So once the character Issa Issa D got away from the work environment, then her, we didn't see those characters anymore, which is a reality for a lot of people. You step away from that corporate world and you go build a life for yourself, and now you can surround yourself with people who you naturally gravitate to, which a lot of times in America are other Black people, just because our culture and our country is so race driven. You know what I mean? Like, people have so many assumptions about people because of their race. People, if you put a bunch of people in a room, Black people are going to gravitate towards Black people. That's just reality. Hispanics going to gravitate towards Hispanic. That's just how we are. We're gonna, unless you grew up in a truly diverse environment, or you grew up around people that's not your same race, you typically gonna gravitate towards people that look like you. And so she created this world with her show Insecure, but she was true to how those white characters really show up in just a everyday Black person's life. It's normally not in a friendship way, it's more so in a work way. Not saying people of different races aren't friends. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying for a good number of Black folks, the only experience they have with people that are not Black is when they're at work. And I'm thankful for the time we're in where she doesn't have to do it anymore. Like, I get why she got that feedback, but in this day and age, you really don't need to do that. You know what I mean? We're in a space where as much as there are things that need to be changed and that need to evolve, we are seeing progress in that we're seeing Black people on the screen in different capacities. You got the Miss Pat show, which shows that hood mama that came up, but she still got that hood in her. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but love, but she comes across rough. You got to learn to accept those people in your family that ain't gonna always be PC. Then you got the families like Blackish, and then you got shows like, different shows showing different experiences of Black people. It's a beautiful thing that's happening with these streaming services, with TV media, because you're not just seeing that one experience. You're seeing Black people as entrepreneurs, as families, as mothers, as fathers. You're seeing all of these different experiences, single motherhood, single fatherhood. You just had that movie came out. That's a real reality too. Black men aren't just, entertainers. There are Black men that are doctors. There are Black men that, are entrepreneurs. We're seeing it all, and that's a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful space that we're in terms of, the TV entertainment atmosphere, because we're now seeing Black people in roles the way that Black people see Black people in real life. We are all those things. Yeah, we could be hood, we can be loud, we can be ratchet, but we can also be smart, we can be calm, we can be creative, we can be innovative, we can be hella smart, we can be not that book smart, but very street smart, and vice versa. We're all the same things as anybody else. We just have this beautiful melanin that's, we're just coated in melanin, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm thankful for the progress that is happening. I'm thankful for there's no longer a gatekeeper, right? There's no longer a person that has to say, or a small group of people that have to give a green light for something to be created and exist. The show Squid Game, which is the #1 show on, or the #1 anything on Netflix right now, show or movie, and has been for the last 2-3 weeks. The creator of that show made it 11 years ago, and no one in Hollywood picked it up. Netflix picked this series up last year, and it's the #1 show. So that lets you know that these gatekeepers were biased. These gatekeepers had no idea what people wanted to watch. And now that we've removed the gatekeeper, and then you have independent streaming services that can pay people what they would have gotten, or even more than what they would have gotten if they would have got that Hollywood sign off. Now they're creating opportunities. A regular person like me can and will create shows. You know what I mean? We have more access where we don't have to wait for that small group of gatekeepers to greenlight something. So that's what I love about the time we're in. I love what Issa Rae is doing with her platform. I love that she's doing what feels right and good to her. And this time that we're in is because of the time that we're in. So it's a beautiful thing. I hate that she felt the need to create the white characters, because she should have been able to create what the hell she wanted with whoever she wanted. But I'm glad that even though she did do that and take that advice, she did it in a way that was true to a lot of our experiences, not all of our experiences. Nothing is ever all of our experience, but to a lot of our experience. And that's why I love that show so much, because it's so relatable. You know what I mean? The friendships, the fallouts, the work experience, all of it was relatable. So I appreciate Issa Rae for being true to herself and true to her experience, even when given silly advice. Salo. Again, we're drinking on Jack Honey, and we are drinking on lemonade. My ice melted a long time ago, but moving along. Now, I don't know if you guys watched this show called The Good Doctors. Now, I have my set of shows that I watch every day, right? Like Monday is Good Doctor, Tuesday is New Amsterdam, and Our Kind of People, which I love that show. And 911 on Monday. Wednesday is all the Chicago PDs. Thursday is my Law and Order 911 and Grey's Anatomy. Oh, I got none on Friday. I got to look and see what comes on Friday. Don't judge me. I still watch TV, okay? But on The Good Doctor, it was something that was an underlining theme of the show. Like it was about, if you watch Good Doctor, it's all these medical cases and all this other stuff. But there's always some underlining, like smaller stories built into the main theme of the show. And two of the characters that are in there are dating. And the conversation around when is it okay to pass gas in front of your partner became a topic of discussion amongst the doctors. And, some people, a lot of them on shows like, oh, no, I don't do that. I wait till they leave. I actually remember working with this lady who said, and she had been married for a long time, okay, like 20 years. And she said she's never done number two while her husband was in the house. She's never pooted in front of her husband. And I just felt like, that's why you so damn mean, because you got to fart all the time. Because listen, without grossing people out, we're human, right? Animals do number two, they pass gas. Any living thing, if you're eating, you're digesting, it got to come out, okay? So for anyone to expect that you're not going to handle your business, I think that's just unrealistic. Like, to me, it's unrealistic. You can't expect a person not to handle their business, and I wish I was you, and I might bring this up if I ever get a panel of people to talk about this panel of women, because I don't understand this logic. Now, some people go far with it, playing with it, buy a fan, doing too much, waiting till you fall asleep, actually sitting on you. That's too much. But if you expect people that you live with 24/7, that you're with and you love them and you care about them, and you don't think that they're ever going to pass gas or use the number two, you're delusional. And I don't even think you're worthy of a relationship, because what are we doing here? I like to deal in reality. I like to deal in what's real. I don't like to deal in hopes and dreams and wishes. I like to deal in what's real. And the reality is, every living thing, it comes in, it digests, it comes out, okay? Ultimately, in the show, the character who actually inquired about this, because she was very tense, like, okay, we're watching TV, we're hanging out, like, I'm trying to figure out when's the right time for me to release myself. Some people say, well, wait till he gets in the shower, and once he's in there, just sit on the toilet and let it rip. You do not need to be this strategic. Like, there are areas in life to be strategic. When you're starting a business, be strategic. When you're mapping out your house, you're decorating, all that good stuff, be strategic. When it comes to handling your business, you got to go when you got to go, okay? And if your spouse or partner can't understand that, maybe they just not the spouse or partner that you need to be with, because I don't understand anybody who thinks that a woman or a man or whoever ain't supposed to do what's natural to the body. Just like if you drink a pop, you burp. Just like if you cut me, I'm going to bleed. Whatever I eat, the toxins in that are going to need to be released. It is what it is. Grow the hell up, okay? grow the hell up. But I'm interested in how people feel about it. So for my listeners, I want you to comment after you have subscribed and liked it, of course. Do you use, do you relieve yourself freely around your partner? I'm very curious about that. I wonder if I could do a poll. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm curious though, because I just feel like, why? 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 How could you be so sexy that people think you're not human? I don't understand it. You're human, you're gonna do it. Okay. We don't spend too much time on that. We're actually about to get ready to wrap because after a while I get tired of talking to myself. We're gonna keep going because we're gonna be consistent this year. Consistency is key. I saw a post on Facebook earlier today, and it was basically saying how how people dine with friends. Let's say 5 or 6 of your homegirls, y'all decide to go out for dinner, and it's a very expensive, or it's not a Fridays or a Chili's, right? Like some of these restaurants, that bill can run all the way up. And people are in there ordering steaks and lobster and shrimp and all this good stuff. And then there's one person that comes in and they're budget conscious. So everybody else is ordering T-bones, medium well, lobsters, deep fried, and all this good stuff. They're like, yeah, let me get that Caesar salad. Let me get 2 cups of water. And I'll also take the free bread. So they came in with a $20 budget. But at the end of the meal, where everybody ordered all this extra lavish Remy's and all this good stuff, now everybody wants to split the bill. So then that person who ordered the salad and the bread and the water said, no, I am not splitting no $100 per person or whatever, because all I had was some salad, salad and water. So I am curious how people feel about this. Me personally, younger version of me, yes, we itemizing. Where's the remote? Where's the calculator? You had, okay. All right, okay. And the tax was how much? And we're going to divide that by 4, 5, okay. Then what you doing for a tip? $3. Okay, so I'm only giving 28, wait. All right, 29.33, that's what I'm giving. Younger version of me, hell yeah, because the nigga was on a budget and I had kids. When nobody made me spend all the extra money. Okay. I'm grown now, right? I'm an adult. There's still a part of me that don't like dining with people, because again, when people know or think that we gonna go ahead and split this at the end of the day, they're like, well, shit, we gonna split it anyway. Let me go ahead and get that king crab. No. But I also feel it's too much at this point, you know what I'm saying, to just be, if I go out, first of all, if you're going out somewhere, the food is expensive, you got to really ask yourself, do I really want to go there? It's okay to decline an invite. If you know that you're not trying to spend $150 on no food, that's smart, that's budgeting. Don't go. But if you're going to subscribe to going, I don't know who this message is for, but it's for somebody. And you don't go. If you're going to one of these, high-end dining experiences, and that you don't have more than $30 to give, or even that you're not willing to pay more, I would say don't do it. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like the norm nowadays is either for someone to pay the bill or for it to be split evenly. Because it is a lot to say to a waitress, give us a minute, pull out every receipt. All right, $39.48 for you, $122 for you. It's too much. You know what I'm saying? People just trying to enjoy dinner and leave. So my advice to people, if you're not trying to, first of all, know who you're going with. Because if it's you and 3 of your homegirls and all y'all on that itemized time, then go have a good time, okay? Make sure you plot out enough time at the end to map out the time, the process of paying individual bills. But know your audience, right? Know who you're going with. And if you're not sure, ask, hey, just so y'all know, I know that's a very expensive place. I don't do no bill splitting. Is that cool? Sometimes you got to get an understanding. Sometimes you got to get an understanding, because that can be very much a disturbance where you sitting here arguing in the middle of a high-end restaurant about, well, we just gonna split it. Well, no, the hell we not. I ain't even gonna lie. I've had my moments like, well, hold on. Let me see if I'm finna split this, because I know I ordered that much. Then you get to calculate, you be like, yeah, I did get that. All right, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and split that. Just have an agreement. You know what I'm saying? Talk to everybody involved, do a group chat like, hey guys, I know we're going out to this restaurant and it can be very expensive. I'm on a very strict budget. I have about $30. I've already mapped out what I want to order. I am not able or willing to split this bill. I just want to make sure that's cool with everybody. Just communicate, right? There's even that topic of like, if a person throws a party at a restaurant, some people come thinking like, okay, they having a party, meal on them. But a lot of people come thinking, okay, it's this person's birthday. We're going to pay for our food and we're going to split this person's meal. You will be shocked how many times this does not go the way it's supposed to go, because people come in with different thoughts. Some people, like I said, came in thinking, oh, okay, she having a party at Steak 48. That she balling. Let me get 2 margaritas. Top shelf. Yep. Let me get 2 steaks. I'm gonna take one to my husband. You trying to milk the system, and then you find out at the end, oh no, you got to pay this and you got to put on for this person's bill. Whatever it boils down to, communication. Ask the person throwing a party, hey, I see you throwing a dinner at a nice place. Are you paying for everything, or do we all have to pay for ourselves? Okay, I just want to get clarification. And people who have an event, don't get mad. People got to know. I'm just trying to get clarification. I just want to make sure, because don't nobody want to be arguing and fighting or leaving people with no bill. We just need to figure this out. So I feel like, for me personally, we're going to split the bill, because it's just less complicated. And I just want to get the hell up out of here and go about my business. But I feel like communication is key. Whether it's a birthday party or just out with your girlfriends, make sure you all have the same or similar understanding so that you don't run into a problem when it comes time to pay your dang gone bill. Okay. We're getting ready to wrap. But I did have another meme I wanted to share and give my thoughts on. I want to hit. Date multiple men and allow them to earn your exclusivity. A guy likes you, cool. He wants to get to know you more, great. Let him prove he's worth closing the door on your other options before you actually do. Because you do have options, sis. Listen, Torah sense, you are damn right, okay? This is what I just told my daughter. You ain't got to like every guy that you meet and you think you like. He does not have to be your boyfriend or on his way to being your boyfriend. It's okay to just like him and be cool with him and just be friends. Y'all ain't got to progress beyond that. Y'all can go to the matinee. Y'all can go have drinks. Y'all can hang out and get to know him as a person. And if there's another person that piques your interest, get his number. How you doing? Yep, I would like to get to know you as well. Oh, okay, you cool too. Now, don't be out here just, I mean, you grown, do what you want to do. You grown. This ain't for my daughter, this for y'all. Y'all want to be messing around with all them, you go ahead. But that ain't the advice I gave my child. My advice to her was get to know them, be their friend. Do not dedicate all your time and energy into one of them. Get to know all of them. See what they're about. See what they thinking. See what their goals are. See what they like. See what they dislike. See how they speak about people. Get them mad one time. See how they get angry. Make that man earn you. You are the prize. So yes, stop. The game ain't the same no more. I just saw a meme earlier today where they were showing they were showing profiles of people on dating sites. People into some stuff. People want to just get to it. I saw something today where a man was complaining like women need to understand that if I'm paying for dinner, she needs to be willing to give up the sex. It's so much craziness going on today that I don't even understand what's happening. Thank God Almighty. That him saw fit, him being Jesus, him saw fit to let me be married in the year of 2019, because I cannot, will not, and do not want to ever get back into no dating. Dating is the devil. But again, solid advice, Taurus sense. Very solid advice to all the single ladies out there. Do not commit all of your time and attention to just one guy because he was nice, he opened the doors, he paid for food. That's cute. That's just how he moved. That's nice. That does not mean that he needs to be on your mind as your boyfriend. Make him earn that time. Make him get to a space where he wants to be the only person that you call, and he has to show consistency, and he has to, do what he say he gonna do, and his word is bond. And you got to know how he talk about other people, and you got to see how he is around other people, and how he speak about people he don't like. You got to learn all these things, and while you're doing that, have you some fun. Talk to him, talk to this one, talk to that one. You ain't got to put yourself on no goddamn restriction. Now, if you want to be out there messing with all them, that's your prerogative. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that, because there is a channel that happens between our thighs that is correlated to our heart, and it gets you feeling like you like people that you don't even like. Okay, but that's you. That's your prerogative. Do you, sis? But I agree wholeheartedly with this meme. I think that every young woman, everybody that's single, everybody that's looking for somebody, don't commit to the first person that smiled at you. Don't commit to the first person that's being nice to you. Don't commit to the first person that seems different from everybody else. It takes time to really get to know a person. It really takes time. You got to see them in all 4 seasons. You got to see them when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're mad, when they're depressed, when they're stressed. Take your time. Ain't no rush. This is a marathon. There is not a race. It is not a race. I said I was going to say about everything that I said I was going to talk about, okay? Don't hold me to any personal vendetta or frustration or stress or whatever. Don't cancel me, okay? I'm just getting started. Don't cancel me. I'm just trying to give my 2 cents on things that's going on in the world. I wish nothing but love and healing to everybody within the sound of my voice. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be in peace. I want us all to exist in this space, to be able to provide for ourselves and our family. I want us all to just be happy, and I want us all to chase our dreams. And my hope and prayer for all of us is that we get a chance to do that. So I've said all I was going to say today. Again, my drink of choice is Jack Honey with lemonade, and it's watered down, but that's all right. Shout out to Queen Tabitha, rocking that natural hair. Shout out to me for watching, rocking my natural hair. Shout out to the people who made these wonderful, inspirational little portraits. Bet on yourself. Actually, I can, and actually, I will. So see you all at the top, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.